Right then, this is the one that actually matters. We've done the Amorim versus Areola stuff. We've looked at the Bournemouth scouting. This is how United actually beat them tomorrow night. Because let's be honest, Bournemouth have bullied us recently. Unbeaten against us since 2023. They've come to Old Trafford and slapped us 3-0 twice. They will absolutely fancy doing the hat-trick against us tomorrow. But we are at home. We are closing the game week for the third round in a row. We are sitting sixth. We know exactly what is needed before kickoff. With the right results, we could be back sniffing around or even securely inside the Champions League spots. Bournemouth, winless in six, hanging about mid-table, a little bit chaotic, a little bit fragile. If you want to know more about that, see the last two videos that we've done in this little series. But the sort of side that can absolutely hurt you if you turn this into a 90-minute bar fight against them. So what does winning this game look like? So for my 11, I'm going with Laments, I'm going with Mazraoui, I'm going with Yoro as the centre-back in this one, and I'm going with Shaw. Midfield 4, Ahmad on the right, Bruno, Casemiro, Dorgu on the left. The two 10s, Mbuemo and Mount with Cunha. So, on paper, 3-4-2-1. In reality, we're looking at that being just a complete 3-2-5 in possession, possibly 5-4-1, possibly 5-3-2 when we lose the ball. Now, wing backs high, Bruno and Casemiro hopefully trying to run the game from deeper. The likes of Mountain and Mbuemo loving it in half spaces. Cunha doing the hard stuff up top. The game is simple. Don't get dragged into the chaos that Areola wants to create. Bournemouth live off turnovers, they live off transitions, they live off second balls. Our job is to drag them into our game. Structure, control, and kill them in the spaces that they leave. So let's break it down into a few things that we have to get right in this game. The first one is bait the high press and then go over it. Bournemouth are very high intensity pressing. Their base shape is a 4-2-3-1. Out of possession, they will go into a 4-4-2. They will try and be narrow, aggressive, and they will try and force you wide and then nick it off you. They are top tier for PPDA and high recoveries, and a lot of their goals come from those high regains. The flip side is when a team beats that first line of a press, they score goals against them, and they create good chances against them. And balls over the top, into the channels, absolutely crucifies them. Their recent slump has gone hand in hand with fewer high turnovers and a lot less control in midfield. So that's where United need to be good. So the first key for me is be brave in the build-up. Don't be stupid. Build up in a 3-2. Mazraoui, Yoro, Shaw is very, very comfortable in possession. Casemiro and Bruno as the double pivot that we're aiming for. Laments has to be involved. I want him to draw the first presser in, take an extra touch, make them commit, and as soon as they jump in, find Yoro, find Shaw, look to try and move it up to Mbuemo, possibly over to Dorgu on the left-hand side and get a little bit of height with it, or straight into the midfield who can get on a turn and drive us up the pitch. Cunha will be absolutely critical in this one as well. I don't want him stood between the centre-backs. I want him to drop into the false nine, maybe even go and form a midfield box with Bruno, Mount and Casemiro. When he drops, drag one of the centre-halves, use that as a trigger for Mbuemo to steam into the space on the right, Mount for drift into that half space on the left, look for the gaps in between the fullback and the centre half, and then you might even see like the likes of Ahmad arriving late off something, maybe as an underlapping option. First half, I think, is going to be ugly. It's going to be 5, 6, 7 long balls that maybe don't quite come off. But if we're patient and intentional with it, Bournemouth's press starts to look a lot less effective and a lot less clever. They will keep going, they will get exposed, or they will drop off. And that's when we take the game away from them. Overload their pivots until it breaks. Now, everything in Areola's system relies on that double pivot. Quite often you're looking at Adams and Scott. If they're on it, they can really hurt you. They recover second balls, but when they're not, they have massive pockets of space that open in front of the back four. Very, very similar to what you get with Bruno and Casemiro. It's feast or famine. Like, if they're good, they're really good, but when they're bad, it's fucking awful. Now, we've seen this. They allow a decent XG from turnovers in the middle. They lose duels in the centre, and once teams start going through there, it is a straight line into their back four. And that's where I think United's structure could absolutely open them up. Casemiro sitting at the base, looking at a screen, recycle, maybe even smash people that try and play through us. Bruno drops alongside him and pick the ball up off him. But I want Bruno a little bit higher than that, pulling Adams around, getting him into uncomfortable positions, and then find Mount buzzing around the little pockets where we've overloaded them. Cunha dropping deep to create 3v2s or even 4v2s. Maybe Mbuemo playing in between the lines a little bit as well. But the picture's quite simple. I want every single time Bournemouth try to settle into 4-4-2 shape, they look up and just see too many United players around them and aren't quite sure, do I hold position or do I maybe go and put a little bit of pressure on this guy over here? You get that right, they will stop being as aggressive in the press because they're outnumbered, and the press loses by it and they'll start jogging rather than sprinting, and once Adams and Scott start sitting off, the distances between midfield and defence start getting silly, and that's when Mbuemo and Mount get on the turn, face the goal, lay Cunha in, and we hurt them. And this isn't just about being fancy in between the lines. It's about just dragging their engine room out. So after 60, 70 minutes, they just don't have the legs to keep playing the sort of intensity that Iraola wants to play. Number 3, kill their transitions at source. Bournemouth are not a team that want to give chaotic 50-50 transitions to, because they will hurt you. The likes of Taverna, Croupier, and of course Semenyo, they love running into space. Broken play, scrambling defences, their entire attack is built on that verticality, overloads, and breaking at pace at turnovers. So the rest defence has to be absolutely bang on. When we've got the ball, 3-2-5, without it, drop quickly into 4-4-2 or a 5-4-1. Ahmad and Dorgu are going to have to snap back into the back line to make it a 5, or even go lopsided and make it a 4. And Mbuemo and Mount tuck into those wide midfield positions. Bruno and Casemiro sit right in the centre as a screen. Let Cunha stay high as a bit of an outlet. And like the first 5 seconds after we lose it, that's when we've been too soft. All of them need to start swarming the ball. Bournemouth's rest defence is not great. If we turn their counters into our counters, the basics of gegenpressing, by nicking it straight back, we will be laughing. Yoro has to get tight and proactive because the likes of Semenyo, when he comes inside, are a real problem. And Semenyo's numbers for progressive runs and high pressing actions are genuinely elite. I think that's why United are looking at him. He is an absolute chaos merchant. Shaw's job is to try and manage that left-hand side, not get sucked in too high when Dorgu goes, because if we leave the channels either side of Yoro, Bournemouth will absolutely carve us open. On the regains, I don't want us recycling everything very slow. Sometimes we use Casemiro to try and take the sting out of the game, but there's moments where Bournemouth will have thrown numbers up the pitch, and in that moment, we have to be vertical as well. Get it straight to Ahmad or straight to Dorgu on the wings, get it straight into Cunha, so we can get it forward. Mbuemo running off the shoulder, that's a killer ball that we can use. If we win the transition battle, Bournemouth have no other ways to beat us. And then hammer them on set plays. It's a big one that gets overlooked for United, because people look at United and think, oh, we should be dominating the play and this, that, and the other, but we've actually gotten quite good at scoring from corners this season, and Bournemouth concede a huge chunk of their away goals from set plays, about a quarter of their goals on the road. So the zonal system that they use can look fine for the first contact, but they're actually shit on both second balls and the far post. We're pretty decent at attacking corners this time, and this 11 has enough weapons. Yoro wins some. Luke Shaw can win some. Casemiro and Cunha are very good at winning them. And then you've got people that are just elite pressers of the ball, lurking on the edge for cutbacks in Mbuemo and in Mount. So I would probably ask Bruno and Mount to rotate on delivery, maybe in swing from the left, maybe nice flat balls into the corridor around about the 6-yard line. It's not always about standing it up at the back post. Sometimes chaos, sometimes first contact flicks at the front post. They're all good. Defensively, we need to be switched on because they do have some decent routines and they have scored from set plays themselves. But if you match the runners, you win first contact, you don't switch off on the edge of the box, that's an area that you dominate. In a tight game, a set play could take it either way. And finally, win the last half hour. Game management has not been great under Ruben Amorim, and United have thrown away plenty of leads, enough to be near enough top of the league this season. And it's something that we've been justified in moaning about with Amorim. Bournemouth's whole model is physically brutal. They top out in all sorts of different metrics, distance covered, intensity of the press, the PPDA, but it comes at a cost because they're actually one of the worst teams in the league in the last 20 minutes. Their post-70 XGA is horrendous, and you can see the press falls off a cliff. For me, the game has 2 phases. First 60 minutes, be mature, be structured. Don't get sucked into like a basketball kind of game. Don't get emotionally dragged into making it like that. Control the tempo, no stupid risks in the build-up. Let them do the running. If we can go in 1-0 or 2-0 at half-time, you're almost there. The last 30, raise the tempo, raise the levels. Play like we did in the last 10 against Wolves. Start playing on one touch. You will pull their double pivot all over the place. If you've got fresh legs that you can bring on in there, do it, because you can really start to hurt them. Iraola is very good at setting a tone early in the game, but once his players gas, he doesn't have anything to keep that team going. He does not have the personnel or a plan B to be able to keep them going. If we are smart, we should be getting stronger as they fade. It's also where Amorim has to show that he's starting to learn, because the subs can't be cowardly. If we're in control, don't put on an extra holder and invite 20 minutes of pressure. Double down, go for a fucking win, because that's what we do. Now, we do all of that. Bait the press, go over it, overload the pivot, punish them on set plays, own the transitions, and manage the last half hour properly. Then this stops being like, oh, Bournemouth are a tough side, and it starts being a professional home win for a team chasing top 4 and a clean sheet. We owe them one. Let's go fucking get it. See you in a bit. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.